Are you brand new to CW? Or maybe even you've been on the air for a while, maybe even years, but just having a little trouble progressing with CW? Well, let's take a look. I'm starting a brand new program. It's more than just a video. Let's talk about how you can go from CW 0 to hero in 2026. Welcome to yet another ham radio video. This is JKQ4DUX. Thanks for joining me. Be sure to stick around. Later in the video, I'll talk about how you can participate in this. But first, let me explain exactly what this is about. I'm calling it 0 to hero because you can go from not knowing anything about Morse code to, what seems like a hero when you first start, to be able to get on the air at 20, 25 or more words per minute and carry on a conversation with someone and enjoy it and have fun and be relaxed. That's possible to do in about a year. One thing that trips a lot of people up is they don't really have a plan or an expectation. Sometimes their expectations are off, but it's going to take most people 9 months to a year, or people are different. Some people can get on the air much quicker. Some people it takes a little bit longer. But I'm putting together a plan where we can do this together, and there'll be 3 separate stages, and I'd like to talk about those stages of learning CW. Now, I will be producing a separate video for each stage of the process, and that will be coming out fairly soon here in a month or so, within this month. But we'll talk about the 3 stages. That's the way I see it. This is just my own opinion of what I've come up with. There are a lot of good resources and apps and games and all kinds of things, but sometimes you just need somebody to put the pieces together for you, give you a little bit of direction, and more importantly, other people to come alongside during the journey. I can't tell you how helpful it was for me to learn together with a group of people. So let's talk about the first phase, or the first step, and that is learning the characters. Now we have, in general, 26 letters in the alphabet, 0 through 9. Plus a few extra characters that sometimes get used, and there are some that are out there but people don't use frequently. We won't mention them. But there are a couple of ways to learn the basic characters, and I'm just going to give you 2 resources real quick. The one is a phone app called Morse Mania. A lot of people love this app. I do too. This was a key factor in learning the characters. Obviously, you have to learn the characters before you can have a conversation. The other one is a Learn CW Online, or if you abbreviate that, LCWO. I believe it's .net, but that is also a free resource that you can use, and that's more of a desktop version online that you can use. And both of those, within those, have several tools and features which we will discuss in the next video. Once you learn the characters, a very important and the key crucial step is getting on the air. Now this is a problem for a lot of people. They have what we know as to be known as key fright, like mic fright, but key fright for CW. And it's very common, if not just ubiquitous, to everybody who gets on the air. It is a little nerve-wracking. We have this thing built up in our minds. I call it the CW boogeyman, that everybody's judging us and everybody's on the other end is laughing us. And what a fool, what an idiot. No, it's really not the case. And the best way to get good, and the best operators out there, spend a lot of time on the air. So the next step is to make that first contact, get on the air. Now there are a couple of ways to do this, which helps the process along. So generally you want something short, and if even better yet, if you can have it a controlled where you're That's what this platform will be about, is I'm in contact with the other person. Okay, I'm going to send this to you and practice that way. But a lot of people enjoy or start out with Parks on the Air because it's very short, it's controlled. A bare minimum Parks on the Air does not take long, it's not hard to memorize, and it's pretty easy to do. The activators are wanting your information. They want to put you in the log. So most of them are very patient, and you're just another call sign in the logbook. So they're not going to be judging you and critiquing everything you do. Another thing a little farther beyond that would be the Straight Key Century Club. That also become very popular. That type of exchange can be a very short scripted exchange as well, but it is a little longer and enables you to take the next step. And then after that, calling CQ in general, some other contests, QSO parties, other things, other ways you can get on the air. So before we get to the third step, I'd like to talk about the community that I'm building, and that's on the platform Discord. So there's a community to go along with not only this program of learning CW from zero to hero, it's also general chat and ham radio related stuff, antennas. We can all get on there and contact each other. At this point, it's completely free for anyone to join, and I will be putting that link below. So the third step, and this is what I did as well, is to participate in some kind of class. Now, not everybody does this. I'm not saying everyone has to, but for me, with my experience, I believe this would be the fastest way that you wouldn't be wasting a lot of time. And there are a lot of people that get stuck at certain points along the way. They may learn some of the characters and be afraid to get on the air. They may be able to get on the air and make a basic, real short exchange, but they're not able to progress beyond that. They might be able to get on the air and hold a whole conversation, but they're limited in their speed to 15 words a minute, or 12 to 18. Very, very common. Lots of people, some get stuck there for decades and they're not able to go beyond that. So that's why some of these skills are crucial, so you can get to the best point you're able to in the shortest amount of time. Now I took one class, so I can only speak from experience for this class, and that was with the group called CW Innovations. That was by far the biggest improvement that I made. So I learned my characters on my own using those apps and those resources. I did get on the air. I did do things like Parks on the Air and SKCC. I did call CQ some just in general. And so I did have some experience. I had close to a year of experience, between 6 months of a year of experience of being on air before I took the class. But the progression that I made from taking that class took me from 12 to 15 up into the middle 20s in just a couple of months. And everybody learns at different speeds, so I'm not promising anything here. But there are also some other ones I will mention. Again, I don't have experience with those. But another one you may want to look at is the Long Island CW Club. Lots and lots of members, lots and lots of participants, several classes. Very easy to connect over there. I just haven't done it myself. That may be another good one. And a third one I would mention would be through the CW Ops platform. And I think they call that CW Academy. Again, I have no experience with that, but I also know several operators who have taken that course. So how is this thing going to look? How am I going to do this in a year? Well, many people can learn the characters fairly quickly. I mean, it can take you anywhere from 3 weeks up to 3 months. Everybody's different. So let's say you've learned your characters by the end of February or beginning of March. Next thing to do, for sure, get on the air. We talked about that. Parks on the Air, Straight Key Century Club. However you want to do it. I would recommend that you do have about a month of airtime practice before you go and take a class. Everyone may not agree with that, but that part is very valuable too, of learning and just getting some skill and some airtime. So that puts us well into spring, early summer, and I mean, maybe that's too busy a time for somebody, but definitely the next step is to take a class of some time, get involved in a group, and be accountable to somebody, and be with a group that will test you. And throughout that process, you will find that going back to those, listening to the characters and sending practice and all of those things, you're going to continue to do that through the whole process. But taking that class may be really the key to getting your feet on a firm foundation to move ahead. Now, this is one thing that people don't often talk about, but post-class. A lot of people take a class and they get hyped up, and maybe they're on the air a lot and they progress, but then shortly after the class, they start to fall back again. They may lose interest or get frustrated. They slow down. They're not having as much fun. They're not on the air as much. So that's where things like this, and I'm hoping this platform will keep people engaged, keep people interested, so that through the remaining months of the year, you're out there on the air, making contacts. Maybe you can become a Parks on the Air activator. Maybe you can participate in field day or contests or whatever you enjoy doing, and that the second half of the year is all the experience. So you can get to a place where you can get on the air and then follow through with that experience. So let me ask you this one last question. Are you ready to do this in 2026? Many of us have gone through those ups and downs. Maybe there have been some false starts where that happened to me. I learned some characters and I did a little bit. I got enough to get on the air, and then I kind of put it aside for a couple months. Maybe you used to be doing CW years ago and you're just really, really rusty and need a hand. Maybe it's something else, but how to get involved. First, put a comment in the video and make some type of commitment. I'm going to do this. I'm in, etc. Just putting that out there on the table for people. Maybe that's enough to get into a group and be accountable, which leads me to the Discord server. Get on the Discord server. It's completely free. It's for everyone. It's made to help people. I guarantee no matter where you're at, if you're zero or you're hero and you're one of the best operators in the world, there will be other people to connect to. There will be people that have been through what you're going through. And it's super valuable, like I said, that sense of community. Last thing to do is hit the notification button and subscribe if you haven't already. I will be going into greater details in the weeks ahead, talking about each one of these phases, answering questions, going through how to get involved on a deeper level in each phase of this journey. So let's have some fun this year. I'm really excited to see who's going to join this and what we can do together. I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun and learn a lot. Thanks so much for watching. This is JKQ4DUX. You've watched yet another ham radio video. Take care in 7-3.